we just learned about plants and their needs as well as their parts. So just like animals, plants have needs, things that they have to survive or keep living. So in order for a plant to survive, it needs air, water, space to grow, soil, and sunlight. Okay, those are all things that plants need to survive. We also talked about plant parts. So here I have a little plant, okay? So we learned about how plants actually have roots way down in the soil. So you can see all the little roots down in here in the dirt, all those little looking things that look like little hairs. Those are actually tiny roots that soak up water and nutrients for the plant. Okay, so then coming up from the roots is the stem. That's this long, harder piece, skinny little piece of green right there is the stem. And from that grows all the different leaves and eventually a flower. So there might have been, right there you can see a flower was starting to grow, the little bit of white. Okay, so those are the different parts of a plant. Okay, so we have the roots, the stem which holds it up, the leaves which catches the sunlight, and then those little white things are the petals of flowers that are starting to bloom. So we've learned a lot about plants, and now it's time for us to actually grow some at home. So here I have some soil or dirt and a little scooper that's going to help me move it. Okay, you can see where it's a little more moist or wet inside. Okay, so that's why it's darker than it is on the outside up here. I have some rocks. I have some water. Okay, and I have this little container, which is actually what we're going to grow the flowers in. That's where we're going to start them. Okay, the flowers that we're going to be growing today are these purple cone flowers. So these are actually going to get really tall. Okay, you can see how they have the nice big green leaves and they have a big tall blackish colored stem. And then they have those bright pink or purple petals. Okay, and those are actually what's going to attract butterflies and bees to help pollinate them so that they can make seeds to make more flowers. So the first thing we're going to start with is we're going to start with this container. And I actually got this container as a strawberry container. So I bought some strawberries. Okay, you can see it says strawberries. This was a strawberry container. I bought some strawberries and I kept the container. So you can see how this container has lots of little holes in it. Those holes will let the water, all the extra water that we put in there, drain out so that the plant doesn't drown, because just like humans, plants can drown. Okay, if we give them too much water. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in some rocks, because as you can see, this is some very fine dirt. Fine means they're very small pieces, and these holes are pretty big, so all that dirt would fall straight through the holes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in some rocks. Okay, and the rocks are actually going to help block up the holes some, and it will make the water have to go through all those rocks, and it will stop the soil from falling through the holes. So the water will get through there just fine, all the extra water, but it will keep the soil from falling out of the bottom. So we're going to start with rocks. And this is actually just like the earth. The earth has rocks way down deep below the soil. So we normally would see grass, and then there would be soil or dirt under the grass, and then way below rocks. So we put our rocks in our container, and now we're actually going to scoop some dirt, and we are going to fill the strawberry container up. So I'm scooping all of the soil in here, making it kind of level. Okay, so I'm going to smooth it out a little bit so it fits in the container. And I'll probably take some out so that there's a little space at the top. Get all these old roots out. So these are some old roots from old plants in the dirt. Okay, so this is what our container looks like from the side. So you can kind of see some rocks in there. You can see the dirt. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I can either poke individual holes like this to put the seeds in, or I can just drag my finger and make a line, because the seeds I chose are actually very small. Now, if you notice, I'm not making really deep holes, okay? They're just kind of deep. You can see they're about this far up my finger. That's about how deep they are, the tip of my finger, okay? And that's because if the seeds are too far down in the ground, they actually can't get the sunlight they need. So, I'm gonna put the phone down for a second. All right, so here are our seeds that I've opened, and those are all little seeds down in there, and they're super tiny. So remember, we learned that seeds need space to grow. So we're not gonna pile all these seeds on top of each other. We're gonna spread them out along the little line of holes that we dug. Okay, so I'm gonna put them in those holes like that. Okay, so you can see all the seeds in the holes. And then just from the edge, I'm gonna kind of brush the dirt over the seeds. Just kind of cover them up lightly. I'm not gonna press down, not gonna push hard. Okay, that way the air can get down in the soil. Okay, so now I've kind of covered them up, you can't see them anymore. So then I'm gonna take some water, and I'm just gonna spray the tops of them. Get it nice and wet. Okay, so there, now watering my plants. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close the top of my strawberry container. So by closing the top right now, because there's no plants in there, I'm not smushing them, I'm actually closing the top, and this is allowing heat or warmth to stay in. So all those seeds are gonna have a nice little warm environment to grow in. Okay, so they're gonna have a nice happy area to grow in and get bigger. And we can keep on checking up on these seeds to see how they grow in our little mini greenhouse that we've made. And when they get bigger, we'll actually move them to a large garden. Okay, but we're gonna do a quick check to make sure that these plants have everything they need. So, we know that the plants need air. So does this one have air? Yep, it has holes for the air to get through. We didn't pack the dirt down so the air can get to the seeds. So check that one. Water. Did we water the plant? Yes, so we gave it the need of water. Space. Did we make sure it had lots of space to grow? We didn't put them all in one big hole. We kind of spread them out. Yep, we did that. Are they gonna have light? Yep, they're out here in the sunlight. Okay, and they have soil. Yes, they have all that soil. Okay, so we know that our flowers or our plants have everything that they need to survive. So now it's just time to wait and watch them grow.